Guys, do you want to join me? Do you want to join me for a quick video of making fun of idiots on the internet? Idiots that are specifically doing things that I think, or saying things that I think are reprehensible, but I think there is definitely some fun to be had in making fun of them. So, let's go ahead and see what we got here. So this guy right here, this is a guy named Jaden Scott. So Jaden Scott is a friend of Jake Lang. Now, you may not know who Jake Lang is, but Jake Lang is the January 6 rioter who recently tried to stage a march protest thing and got himself shot at with a bunch of fucking water guns, and then ran away like a little baby, got picked up by a black trans woman in her car. She just wanted to help. She had no idea who he was. And then when he explained who he was, kicked him out of the fucking car. And they're like, no, you're not invited to drinks, sir. Now that I know who you are, fuck off. This is one of his compatriots. Let's go ahead and see what he's got to say here. Before he gets any further, I don't want to... I cannot make fun of somebody's appearances. Look at me. Look at me. When I found that comment that said that you sound like a twink femboy, but you look like a 40-year-old trucker, like, I am not one who can make fun of somebody's looks. But I can make fun of somebody's attire. What in the fucking LARP are you doing, sir?
Evolved from 5th generation warfare. As of last night, we have found out that these men are fighting an insurgency. They've bitten the hands off DHS. They've attacked our Patriot Crusaders, Cam Higby, and we still have been running counter intel. I'm here, boots on ground in my bunker.
I am here, boots on ground, in my bunker. I am here, boots on the ground, hiding in my basement. My boots, they are on the ground. In my basement. To any of my audience who may be current or former military, what's the word you have for somebody like this? Because I'd use the word pussy. I'd use the word pussy. Personally.
I'm proud to announce that we have infiltrated the deepest levels of these signal chats and Signal Gate. Shout out to 0 Hour, shout out to Cam Higby. Guys, we are now fighting an insurgency to the highest levels of Minnesota state government.
My guy, I feel like... I'm gonna give you some advice. Just a little bit of advice. Do you want to sound like somebody that people should actually take the fuck seriously? Stop speaking with your nose. Start speaking with your throat. Start it with me. You do a yawn. You do a, you know, that sound, that feeling of openness. Your voice should stop sounding nasally and should start sounding a little bit like this. It's called projecting. If you want to be taken seriously, maybe you should speak like somebody who should be taken seriously, because holy fucking shit, my guy on the front lines of his own goddamn fucking basement. Unless you are in like a portable bunker, which, come on. What the fuck are you doing? You infiltrated some group chats and now you feel like you're some fucking freedom warrior?
The Lieutenant Governor is complicit in this insurrection and in this insurgency.
This insurrection, this... Remember, when you are a right-winger in modern-day America, an insurrection is a simple First Amendment protest. That's an insurrection to you. But when you invade the capital of the United States, and you go in and start cheering Hang Mike Pence and ripping out fucking tech and shit from Nancy Pelosi, that's not insurgency. That one's not an insurrection, but boy howdy, a couple of people going out and protesting, that's an insurrection. My guy, I don't think I can be taken seriously when I take one of these out. I think I look like a fucking nerd. I think I look like the last guy anybody should take seriously, but I feel like the fact that I could at least own that is going to mean people will take me maybe a itty bit more seriously than you. Iclona says, the actual signal chats have the kind of stuff that tells me they have ex-military types running it. Historigan says, hello, how's it going? Diamortal says, Cirrus, my partner said you look like a bigger version of Jacksepticeye because of the lightning in your hair. The lighting in the hair. Oh, yeah, the lighting in an amount of hair. The wisps that can be considered hair here, that were once hair. Maybe I should get a beanie and start going full temple.
Crusaders are going boots on ground tomorrow.
We're going boots on ground, like I am, from my bunker.
Into the MAZ zone, Minneapolis Autonomous Zone, to restore law and order. And I promise, it will not go down like it went with American hero Jake Lang!
American hero Jake Lang. What did Jake Lang do that made him a hero, my guy? Can you explain one heroic thing he did? Can you explain something heroic he did other than be a dumbass agitator during January 6th and get the absolute piss humiliated out of himself from every possible way last week? Can you explain anything that guy did that was actually even mildly heroic? Fleur says this has to be parody, right? No! I wish this was parody, but no, this is real life. This is a real guy who has real opinions, and he really wants you to take him seriously. Guys, I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but I could take this guy. Fuck. Didn't he piss off because he got shot by water guns? Yeah, American hero Jake Lang defeated by the Super Soaker.
The Patriots are done. This is no longer fifth generation warfare. This is no longer peaceful protest. This is a goddamn Marxist insurgency, and it will be dealt with like such.
Did you know that Marxism, like as a conversation piece, as a political ideology, is perfectly legal in America? You can believe in the tenets of Marxism. It's your First Amendment right. You can protest the American government and do it from a Marxist perspective, and that is your American right. It is your First Amendment right. Iclona says, can he tell us if the fifth generation of warfare is in the room with us? Tegan says, can you show the video of Jake Lang being chased? I don't want to go find it right now.
Crusaders, DM me.
Crusaders, slide into my DMs. Slide into my DMs, Crusaders. Slide into my DMs. I need somebody to pay attention to me. I need to feel like I'm being important. I need to feel like the words I say have impact. Mommy's not very proud of me. That said, there's another individual that we need to make fun of today, and that's Kyle Wagner, or Wagner? I don't know. I don't understand names that begin with W's. Maybe it's because I have friends who are German.
Hello, I'm Kyle, and I am Antifa. We are under occupation, and we are fighting back with every tool we have at our disposal.
Okay.
That has been extremely effective, and we have pushed ICE so hard that they have doubled their size, and they have increased the severity of their tactics in an attempt to scare us into submission. They're brutalizing children. They're kidnapping people from legal employment. They're kicking in front doors without warrants.
Iclona says, well, Three Arrows isn't exactly Antifa, but it is adjacent to it. Look, comrade's a comrade at certain points.
They are brutalizing people in public and then laughing and joking about it.
By the way, do you want to take pointers about how to be taken more seriously? Do you hear his voice? Do you hear, again, this is for our guy who's got boots on the ground in the bunker. Do you hear the throat? Do you hear the throat? You can take that person far more seriously. Tattoos aside.
This is where ICE has come to die. I'm more than willing to keep the peace if they will go back to wherever they fucking crawled out of and leave us alone. We want to know who they are. We will identify every single one of them, and we will prosecute them to the full extent of the law. And if that has to be done at the barrel of a gun, then let us have a little fucking fun.
So, I understand where dude's coming from, and I can at least take him a little more seriously, because he's, instead of trying to be the Empire fighting against the rebels, he's actually on the other side of that. But, when you engage like that, when you start acting that way, I feel like you provide all of the ammo needed to the other side to start saying that our side is actually trying to fight people and hurt people and all kinds of shit. I believe ICE should be abolished. I believe it should be completely fucking dismantled. And I believe that if you are an ICE officer and you break into somebody's house without a warrant, then stand your ground is a really cool law, and center of mass is where you aim. At the same time, I feel like when you start engaging in this like it's a civil war, like it's in, like there's not other options available. All you do is increase the amount of presence of the people that want to run you down. I want to agree with Kyle here, because it feels like me and Kyle are at least on the same page. We have a shared enemy. But I also feel like there is a particular kind of rhetoric that sounds like we are going to go out and kill you, that then enables further ICE killings. And I don't feel like that is particularly useful, especially since we live in a country that is increasingly becoming harder and harder to exist in without overt surveillance on everything that you're doing. Iklana says that last bit feels a little fetty. It's a little fetty. So I'll say this. Don't fucking fedpost. Don't fucking fedpost. I think this is probably one of the best times for me to say this. Don't fedpost. Don't put yourself in a situation where whatever movement you feel like you are a part of, you suddenly stop being helpful to that movement because you are behind bars, because you decided to go on the internet and yap your mouth. I do not believe that the things that Kyle believes are necessarily wrong. But I believe saying those words out on the internet, as opposed to in a way that is a little more cognizant of OPSEC, is nightmarishly stupid, personally. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Trump is currently swapping the faces around in Minneapolis and desperately trying to figure out what he can do to save face right now. So I'm curious to see what all is going to be happening there. Kinma says it's foolish to try to match their destruction when you're trying to prevent destruction. Yeah. So what was it that Kropotkin pointed out? I keep going back to Conquest of Bread. What was it that Kropotkin pointed out specifically in his critiques on Revolution? It's that we on the left get obsessed with the idea of there being a revolution, with tearing down the system that currently exists. And there is merit to that, because it is a system that has so abused us. But we tend to fail to talk about what we are supposed to build to provide people with their base needs if whatever current regime is in power disappears overnight in a revolution or otherwise. And that's one of the reasons that I try to advocate as hard as I can for democracy, for the democratic systems that we have here, because they at least maintain the levers that we can pull to try to make people's lives better, instead of tossing a grenade into the entire bunker and hoping to God something survived the explosion. Iklana says Kropotkin was the OG. Marxism in our age has been tainted by Marxist-Leninists. Marxist-Leninists who like the Soviet Union specifically, I think, is the one. I think that's where we run into issues. But I don't want to fight over definitions, because again, like what I said earlier, me and Kyle, we have a shared enemy. We have a shared problem. The current regime is harming American citizens, and of course it's harming immigrants as well. But it's even overstepped its own supposed boundaries in nightmarish ways. I don't need to agree on the finer details of whatever economic system Kyle thinks needs to come into play to recognize we have a shared enemy that does not need to be doing the shit that they're doing. I just worry about tactics a little bit. Ansela says, yeah, I try not to say things that will get me on a list. The only time I want to hear from the alphabet agencies is when my friend is re-upping his clearances, and I can honestly say I don't know what his work is. Iklana says George Lucas used to be woke for his time. I mean, there's an argument that he still is. Like, there's an argument that he still is because he's still made a set of movies that painted the United States as the bad guy during the Vietnam War. Like, that's what Star Wars is. That's what it was. The Empire was the United States. He dressed it up to look like German warfare because he knew that that would be received better. But ultimately, there's a reason the rebels are what they are. There's a reason that they win their fight in the jungle at the end of the day. That said, I just wanted to make fun of one guy and maybe critique the other a little bit. So, let's move on to other things, shall we? Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitt, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Sereth, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.